Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well and welcome to what would have been an amazing piece of history. My friend anime fan sent this request through. It's an article in thespacereview.com and I'll link it in the video description. It's about a recently declassified piece of information dating back to 1982 during the Falklands War. It was a plan by the British to use two Buccaneer bombers or anti-ship aircraft, launch them from Ascension Islands, send them over 4,000 miles south to the Falklands to sink the Argentinian aircraft carrier Viento de Mayo. I had no idea that they had planned this. It didn't go ahead in the end because of the reasons I'm about to explain. Our friend has asked us to reenact it to see if it was possible. Could it have been done? So let's get started. First, we're just going to go into a map view here, viewers, and we're going to talk about what we've got. Here is the Falklands Islands, invaded in April 1982, of course, by the Argentinian junta here. Here we have Ascension Island. It is 3,760 nautical miles away. That is 4,320 land miles away from the Falklands. Today, we are on the 2nd of May, 1982. The British Naval Force has moved in and taken control of the area. They've put in place a 200 nautical mile exclusion zone shown by this ring here. If any Argentinian vessels sail in it, they will be sunk indiscriminately. Our two main assets were our aircraft carriers, HMS Invincible here, and not Centaur class HMS Hermes here in these positions on this day at this time. They also had task forces with them, but I've not modelled them just to save memory because they're not going to play a major part in it. Okay. As well as that, in play were three nuclear submarines. We have Conqueror down here, we have Spartan here, and we have Splendid here. The reason the subs are in these positions is because on the 2nd or in early May 1982, the Argentinians were going to do a naval attack on the British naval fleet here. The idea is to sink at least one of the British carriers and win the war that way, which they very possibly have done if they would have sunk one of our carriers. They decided on a pincer manoeuvre, north here and south here. Task Force 79.1 here, 79.3 here. 79.1 consisted of Viento de Mayo, if I move back in here, which was an ex-British Colossus class carrier, today played by, strangely, an Australian Majestic class carrier, but it's almost identical, and that's important for today, with an almost identical fleet aboard it, 8 Skyhawks, which is what the Argentinians had at the time. As well as that, they had, on the day, on the 2nd, they had two Type 42, weirdly again, British destroyers with long-range missiles and radars. Type 42 here, Type 42 here. I haven't managed to find what formation they were in, so I've had to assume that. As well as that, they had a fueler tanker. I've just put a generic merchant in there. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to play a part. It's just a non-combatant, shall we say. And they were doing their operations. In terms of 79.3, we have, led by an ex-US Brooklyn-class cruiser known as General Belgrano. She had with her two ASW frigates, and they had a fueler / merchant there. British intelligence at the time was very good, aided by America, and we knew something was happening. So Conqueror was sent down to take on 79.3, and that's literally what it's about to do, and I'm sure you all know the history of how that happened. Once Belgrano was hit, and it will be hit very shortly, then the plan was cancelled. Not actually because Belgrano was sunk, but because Majestic, who on the next day or later that day planned to launch her Skyhawks against the naval fleet down here, could not fly. They could not fly due to bad luck. The carrier was having engine problems, it couldn't make max speed, and the wind was very low on that day, all of which meant it did not have enough wind across the deck, which meant, amazingly, the loaded Skyhawks could not fly. So they had to cancel it, and bearing in mind the loss of Belgrano on 79.3, they decided to can the operation and return home. Hence why the Buccaneers never flew. Now, onto the Buccaneers and what's actually happening today, guys. So you've got to imagine Belgrano has not yet been sunk. Margaret Thatcher knows an attack's coming. She asks for a way to silence this carrier. The idea is that two Buccaneers, the later variants, are going to take off from here. They'll be armed with TV-guided Anglo-French missiles known as Martel. They will take off and fly. In a minute, as soon as I start it, a daisy chain of tankers, very similar to the 1982 Black Buck raid. You can see these guys here. They are Nimrods. Well, they're not actually. They're, 707, I think, maybe? Playing Nimrods, playing Victor tankers. Our tanker fleet was an aircraft called Victor at the time. There's going to be 6 of them, and they're going to be heading into 700 statute mile lengths. They are going to daisy chain refuel our Buccaneers all the way to the Falklands. But before our Buccaneers can even launch, we need to know where the Cinco de Mayo is. To do that, we've sent out from HMS Invincible, this did actually happen in real life, to 800 Naval Air Squadron Sea Harriers to find Cinco de Mayo. So we've sent them out here because these guys here, the SSNs, couldn't find her. Now they're in position, they're going to turn on their radar. Search radar's on. I forget which pilots it was. I've not long ago read the book, but I've forgotten already. So they've done their job. They found the task force there. They're now going to RTB guys because they're not needed, and they're going to land on one of the carriers. Now the rough position of the fleet is known. We can now send the Bucks. The Bucks are going to take off and start their daisy chain, but importantly, once the Bucks get near within detection range of this carrier fleet, they have to fly low. It's the only thing that can hide them from their within horizon radar, which of course the RGs were reliant on because they didn't have AWACS to get to it without being spotted. If they were spotted, then, well, as far as they knew at least, the Skyhawks could have taken off and shot them down with Sidewinders. So how do they find the exact location of this group here without climbing and turning their radar on, at which point they would have been spotted? Well, that's the interesting thing about this story. It's help from the Americans. The Americans had a special satellite, this has all been declassified, called Farrar, or codename Farrar. It would have given them more or less real-time updates, one-way communications to the Buccaneers, and tell them where this carrier group was, which is what today's story is all about. We can do that if you like, guys. I thought I would make it even a little bit more exciting and veer from that. As an additional way of finding it, the Reagan has sent over an E3 AWACS here, who's going to meet the Bucks en route and is going to provide standoff backup, locating on one-way communications to the Bucks as the Bucks try and find this group here without the ability to use their radar and hopefully get within range to launch their missiles. It's a long, complex operation, very difficult to do, and we're going to try and do it one by one here, guys. Guys, I'm going to start taking off my Bucks. You guys, meanwhile, can chat amongst yourselves on any interesting tidbits you want. Off we go. Time is in Zulu today. It's 11:09 Zulu.
So I tried to work out the logistics train for this. The Black Buck raid is a fantastic starting point, and their refueling chart looks like it was done on the back of a beer mat, possibly at Ascension Island's bar. How they worked all that out without computers, I have no idea. Some guys with big brains obviously got involved. My rough calculations are that each buck, which has got a folded nose at the moment, they should be unfolding their noses in a minute. Each buck has got a range of about 3,000 nautical miles, knock off a bit, probably about 2,000 nautical miles usable at the moment because of the outboard missiles. Each Victor has a working range of about 3,000 miles as well because they're going to offload about half their fuel. They've got a range of about 6,000 miles without refueling anybody. So as they folded their noses out as well, look at that.
It's a very impressive range.
It is, but we're going to talk about range. So, although technically on Wiki this can go 2,000 miles, it can't. 2 reasons. Exterior stores are very draggy. Second reason is, and this is directly coming from 809 Harrier book that I've recently read, which included the exact planning of how to get the Harriers of 809 from Britain down to the Falklands, 10,000 miles. You can't just send these guys out and have 2,000 miles between pit stops. That's not allowed. You have to have, this is really weird, interesting piece of planning, you have to allow it so that by the time they reach their first tanker or their next tanker, they have enough fuel in case of an emergency to divert to the nearest safe base, which would have been in Brazil. So instead of having 2,000 miles between tankers, you actually have to have 650 so that they can divert to here if they break their refueling probe. It's really weird. And so we've ended up with how many tankers, guys? Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 victors to get the 4,000 miles and have the range safety. Right, sorry, I've got to get my little guy up here and actually start playing the mission now. So, Bucks, please go to your first refuel stop, which is going to be there. Please go 20,000 feet, which is going to be pretty optimal for you guys. And off you go. Right, they're on their way now, guys. Next thing I'm going to do is this Churchill-class submarine, HMS Conqueror. Well, what's she going to do at this point? She's obviously going to start the battle by sinking the Brooklyn, played by a Sverdlov today, which is near enough for what we care. At currently, how many miles? Quite some miles. So, she is below the layer, currently full. And she is otherwise silent to the Argies. If they find her, then they will try and sink her, obviously. Okay, so that's in play. Let me just double check, because we're playing this live as ever. We've got Sandy Woodward's over there doing his stuff. 800 NAS are going on their way back. These guys don't really need to find anything now, so they're going to go into hold and wait. The Argies are doing their Argie stuff. They're doing their ASW. They've got 2 Type 42s. These are British destroyers. Very long-range, powerful radar. Very long-range, powerful missiles, guys. And it's going to come into play today. Note the time difference, obviously, all modelled in this game, which is an excellent game, by the way. It's night here, and it is morning there, and it is afternoon there. Check they've got the right missiles. It's the Martel, as we said there. Anglo-French missile, range about 20-ish miles with the TV sensor that it has on. It also came in an anti-radiation format with a range of about 30 to 40 miles, or possibly even longer, guys. The next bit of combat is going to be the Churchill, which is Conqueror, taking on Sverdlov. And this is just a little bit of fun here. It doesn't matter whether this goes to plan or not. Don't let me forget about Reagan's E3, guys, as well. Alright, they're changing their formation here because they're controlled by AI, obviously. Alright, switching to Conqueror. She is 8 miles. So in real life, she did not fire her modern Tigerfish guided missiles or maneuvering missiles. It fired some old, almost World War II type Mark 8 straight running missiles. It fired a spread of 3. 2 hit the Brooklyn class, obviously sunk it. And there's one very famous picture which we'll try and link. Why did he use the Mark 8 instead of the Tigerfish? Well, I invited comments about that. I don't know, but I know Tigerfish was a bit of a munter at the time. 6 miles.
I know the Tigerfish had reliability issues, and they are very slow.
They're
about
really
24
slow.
knots.
It's terrible, isn't it? Why would you make you could literally outrun the torpedo. It's so weird.
It's interesting because the Tigerfish actually double the range of the Mark 8s.
I just don't understand why he would use some old World War II torpedoes. I guess he was scared. I guess he was scared of the Tigerfish failing, which it had failed so many times, right?
I think some of his thinking was also because the Mark 8 had a larger warhead, and because the Brooklyn was World War II cruiser, it's generally more armoured than nowadays ships, so the Tigerfish might not be able to punch through the armour. I don't know how true that would be.
Either way, we're about to sink it 3 miles. I wouldn't dare go any closer than that, so I'm going to fire, as per real life, 3. Well, fine, 2 will be enough. Of these, pop them out, and because I want to absolutely make sure that she does sink, guys, I'm also going to fire 4 guided Tigerfish. Get those babies out, and then I'm slightly worried I don't have any depth here. I'm right in the middle of the Atlantic, but I think I can see the floor.
Yeah, you can see our depth and keel. The keel is how much space below, so you've got like 15 feet below you.
Right, okay, well, I'm screwed then. I'm going to put a noisemaker out. I'm going to go as deep as I dare, and as fast as I dare without cavitating, and run away. I'll probably still beat them, to be honest. Alright, anyway, this is just a bit of fun, so let's see what happens. And as far as I'm aware, Belgrano didn't manoeuvre in real life, although I stand to be corrected. So here they go, the straight runners, twice as fast as the Tigerfish. The Tigerfish was replaced by an excellent torpedo, guys, and I forgot his name. Anyone remember?
Spearfish.
Spearfish! Yeah, it was a good one.
Equivalent of the American Rivers.
And I still never really understood why we didn't just buy the American torpedoes. We never manufactured like huge amounts of our ones. Just buy the freaking Mark 46 and 48. Anyway, we did.
All about keeping our expertise in-house, as it were, and maintaining our defence industries.
There you go. Well, like I said, that's important. AKA France's aeronautic industry. They refuse to buy planes in. They make their own. Well, we're about to redo history here, guys. A couple of straight runners. No. Yes, we're going to do that. Oh, my God. Act 9. No, yeah. Oh, come on.
You had a jinx it,
It was almost a Bismarck. Okay, well, I suppose we might as well play it through the Bucks. Let me just double check. As ever, there's a lot of stuff to go wrong here, viewers. As any large, complex thing. Right, what have I got here? I've got a little Tigerfish. Are they even going the right way? because historically they probably wouldn't have. They are going the right way. No, one's got lost and is going towards a noisemaker. The others are tracking Brooklyn. Will they catch them up? The problem with these is they're low speed. It says here 35 knots. I'm not even sure they could do 35 knots. That must have been a later version, but anyway.
So Belgrano was completely unaware of this attack, never manoeuvred, kept straight and level at the same speed. Probably another factor in using the Mark 8s. The Mark 8s had a 185 kilogram high explosive warhead on them as well, so huge torpedo.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we're going to get it. Nothing else, we're going to stop it, guys. Oh, we're going to sink it. We're going to sink it. 3 torps. Wowee. Well, there you go. We managed to do some history. Bye-bye Belgrano. It sunk, it capsized, but it did massively aid the British because eventually it exposed the carrier and the carrier went home, guys. That's that part done. What I'm going to do now is, because I just want to save memory because there's going to be lots of speeding up here, I'm just going to delete this lot, so stand by. So, down goes our Belgrano, and that's almost identical to how it looked in the pictures, guys. Do you remember those pictures? That's so crazy. Down she goes.
Yeah, big response here. And then unfortunately our escorts don't realise that she's down and sail off into the distance.
That's amazing, isn't it? And here we the Mark 8, the Mist, accidentally just sunk this, viewers. So we apologise, civilian sailors. Collateral damage, I believe. Right, so we've got 4,000 miles to go now, which is going to take a long time. So what we're going to do, guys, is check that guy is orbiting, and he is. He's got our bucks. Here, going to meet up with the first refueler. They're going to go refuel, and if sea power allows us to, sometimes it plays ball, sometimes it doesn't, go to 100 speed like that. And we've got to do 4,000 miles now, viewers. Now, the refueling, a couple of points about the refueling first, as Davros kind of alluded to earlier on. It's not just these 5 Nimrods. As is the Black Buck raids, the Nimrods, you know, they don't just magically come out here. They have to have, each Nimrod has to have its own series of Nimrods to refuel it. So you have this giant daisy train, and we'll link the sort of pictures from the Black Buck raid. Basically the entire, to get these couple of bucks 4,000 miles, you need the entire air wing, British air wing of tankers. It's crazy what had to be done. Right, there is no air-to-air refueling in this game, so what happens is we've taken on a magic amount of fuel, and we're going to do the next one. We started at 11 Zulu, I think, so we're now nearly 2 hours in to the raid so far. It's lunchtime, or it's afternoon now. Going to go to our next stop, which is here, and see if we can get to 100 speed, and we can. No, yeah, it's going to, sea power is being sea power, it's stopping me. Alright, well, we'll just be patient. So the next is going to be a battle between us and sea power, trying to speed this guy up.
It's probably because the Argentine carrier is doing flight ops.
Roger, well, we'll just have to override it each time. Guys, does anyone know about the, this is all a surprise to me, obviously, but does anyone know about this, about the secret American satellite that was to provide live updates? Has anyone read the document or know about the document?
No.
No, it's a surprise to me, yeah. So, yeah, Thatcher got a call from the Americans, or her counterpart got a call from the Americans saying that, hey, by the way, if you need it, we've got this satellite that can give you pretty much live update of the Cinco de Mayo and feed the information to you. Do you want it? Yeah, yes, please. We'll take that. And we got loads of stuff from the Yanks for this war, obviously. We've got missiles, we got a bunch of ground stuff, the SAS, communications gear.
I believe we also got the first use of the AIM-9 Lima, which is what the Harriers absolutely used in the conflict.
One of the reasons why they were so amazingly good. We lost Sea Harriers, obviously, but we didn't lose any to air-to-air, and we were outnumbered in air-to-air, so yeah, and that would have been one of the reasons, the all-aspect missile. Right, we're on to Victor number 3. God knows how far we've gone, but there, it's now 14 o'clock, so it's now 2 in the afternoon Zulu. Now, we've got to use this asset here, Reagan's backup E3, carefully. We can't get it too close, to which point they know something's up. Also, we can't run it out of fuel, so we have to be a little bit careful, guys. It's now 1500 hours, that's 3 p.m. UTC, Zulu, which is UTC, isn't it? Yeah.
One thing I want to say about the F2B Barks is they actually had an expanded Olge on the Bombay for actually extra fuel. They can carry extra fuel in that Bombay as well. It's not actually modelled on this one, but they did have it. I think we might be adding that, but I'm not sure.
It reminds me of the Lightning. Do you remember the F6, I think it was, had that big fuel bulge in it? Give it some actual legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that, but upside down. And the Bombay still rotated.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Bombay was for bombs, obviously, nuclear and conventional, but today we're not using it. So I guess it's just full of fuel. Although, yeah, we're just using the Martels today. Right, we've reached our station. When I get there, I'll allow it to do just a couple of orbits to simulate it. Refueling. Alright, on to our next rendezvous. We're catching our tankers up, which is probably a good sign. We're doing cruise, mark 0.8, and now we need to get our E3 Sentry into action. So off you go, sir. Now, we need to think about where we're going to position him. Let me just make that quieter. So we need to position him. Where do you think, how far do you think an AWACS could see an aircraft carrier? 250 miles? 300 miles? Bear in mind you've got a line of sight problem, haven't you?
250.
250 miles, yeah. Let's say there. And it's not close enough that it's going to be raising suspicion because, you know, American, you know, taking note of the war 500 miles north of the Falklands. I don't think it's going to raise suspicion. Right, he's on his way there. It's fuel. We don't get to see a live... Oh, his fuel is going to be a problem. Look at that. It's fuel. Damn!
That is a problem.
Running out of fuel. Well, luckily we've got Ferrara as a backup, guys. And that's a miserable amount of fuel. I wish I could refuel him now. Never mind. We'll go there and we'll wait there. So what's happened is we've already run the E3 Sentry out of fuel, viewers. But as I said, it was just a backup anyway, so we're going to be using the satellite update, so never mind. It's just something I thought I would try. As ever, these are done live, viewers, they're not scripted, so there's always a massive chance of failure. And I like that, because in real life, these things aren't scripted. They have a massive chance of failure. That reminds me of one thing, one of the Black Buck missions, which is almost identical to what we're doing here. I remember one of the, what was it, guys? One of the Victors broke his refueling nozzle off in another Victor, doing his daisy chain, and had to land in Brazil. Does anyone remember that? Right, well, we're getting there. It is now 1400 hours as I go for our fourth refuel. The thing I like about Sea Power, we love DCS views because it's got pretty graphics and cool flight models. The good thing about Sea Power is you've got the whole world, so you can do these live one-to-one scale things that we've never been able to do before. Penultimate refueling, gonna go to the next one, let's go.
So if you wanted to simulate refueling the E3, you can use the F10 map. If you go to testing and then respawn, it'll just respawn it with full fuel.
I didn't know that. Does anyone else know that? Amazing.
No.
Amazing. Oh, well done.
You got the rings now.
There we go, we've refueled him.
That's how you end up testing and refining all the little bits in when you're mod making. It makes it a lot quicker.
Right, interesting. So now it wouldn't be able to refuel off a British tanker because this is a female refueler, so it needs a male tanker. So we'd have to have a KC-135 or something to refuel it. So let's just pretend that's happened. All right, guys, we're back on task. So get on station there, please. Last pit stop for you boys. Pop. We are 1700 hours. We are 4 hours into the mission, guys. 4 hours sitting in that little cockpit, of course. Two-seater plane, pilot navigator.
Legs must be cramping by now.
Right. Oh, God, yeah. Not for me, guys.
Just be glad they don't have Taco Tuesday.
I like my computer chair. All right. Last refuel. Let me spin around a few times. I'm just going to put the AWACS up a bit faster. Bucks. Let them refuel. All right. Guys, we've made it. It is 1800 hours. We've been flying for 5 hours. Refueled 5 times. We're now going in, so if we go, let's say, we're going in stages, a couple of 100 miles away there. What is a Type 42 going to see us at? Like 300 miles? So we get 300 miles away, and then we'll worry about going down. Obviously, the lower we go down, the harsher it's going to be on our fuel, so let's get to that point there.
I would guess it's this pretty much the same as the AWACS 250.
So as soon as we get near, it's going to work perfectly, as soon as we get near where we expect them to be, AWACS is going to start giving us one-way information to update our nav. What we'll have to do at the last minute, viewers, we're going to go low, we're going to get updated nav information from this guy here, live data, and then we're going to pop up at the last second, turn our radar on, get a fix, slave the missile to the radar, get a TV fix, and then fire the missiles. There's a lot that has to be done, again, a lot that can go wrong.
Just remember the pause button, Cap.
Just remember the pause button, right. I do have a habit of rushing things, don't I? Guys, we're almost at the time to start diving, so we've now got to get close to these guys here, but stay under radar horizon, which is going to be at this range, a couple of 1,000 feet. Let's say 1,000 feet to be safe. The lower we go, the harsher our fuel endurance is, obviously, so E3 still a ways out. She's max speed trying to catch up with us, and she'll be perfectly on station by the time we get there, which is great, guys. So off we go. Back more into the Buccaneers realm, designed to fly low level, obviously. Anti-shipping, bombing. Renowned throughout the world as an excellent Cold War aircraft at doing this. Distinguished service career, obviously.
And the only aircraft that descends to cruising altitude on takeoff.
Yeah, it's quite funny, isn't it? I mean, that's how they had to survive. At the time they were built in the Cold War, there was no 5th gen. You go waiver level. It's your way, which we'll be doing soon.
And believe me, it looks awesome in the game.
Yes, it will. Distance is, we wouldn't know the perfect distance, but we know it's about 250 miles. Still got 250 miles to go. Setting up in our rough location. Mr. Reagan, still a few miles out. Nearly 1,700 hours, so 6 hours since we took off. Let's talk about threats, guys. Now, the Type 42s are excellent British ships, very old but very good, and they carry this weapon here. It's called a Sea Dart. Range 40 miles, semi-active radar homing, and it will smash us if it sees us. So we have to go below its radar horizon, basically, which is great, because that's what our plane is designed to do.
That's exactly what the Argentines did to us as well. They did exactly the same thing.
Yeah, because, well, yeah, they knew our weaknesses as well. Range is roughly 150-ish miles, guys. Yep, 1,000 feet still safe. American is almost on station. So the American is now just about picking up that large carrier blip on its radar, starting to send the information to us, one way, obviously. So we've got to start thinking about getting lower now. So I'm going to put this on our next plot there. I'm going to take us down to now 100 feet. And just about everything we're using today is by third-party mod makers who all do a great job, especially in this game. Fantastic job they do. And we know the exact distance now, or within a few miles by the AWACS, is 80 miles. So we're safe at 100 feet. We're going to start thinking about our attack vector now. We're going to kind of come in from northeast. It's our natural ingress, obviously. All this stuff going on, it's ASW operations by the helicopters. Not sure what helicopters they would actually... Anyone know what helicopters the RGs would have used? I can't remember. American on station and orbiting Majestic, 60 miles away. Guys, we better start talking about how we do this. So, if I slow down, if I look at the weapon, it has a range between 5 and 24 miles. Now, I don't really want to fire it at 24 miles. If we do, you know, it will give us the maximum safety for us, but that's not our primary concern. Our primary concern is sinking the carrier, or just, you know, hitting the carrier. If we fire that at 24 miles, and it goes at Mark 1 or whatever it goes at, that's a very good chance. It's not a low missile, it's a high missile. It's a very good chance that those Type 42s will shoot it down with their Sea Darts. I suggest we go in about 10 miles, we pop up, maximum speed, to quickly turn on our radar, quickly slay our missile, quickly fire the missiles, and then turn around, giving our Marcel the maximum speed it can, but also the maximum survivability it can. Fired from 10 miles, that Type 42, which is all simulated, is not going to have a great chance of getting its fire control radars on.
I agree with that point.
The 42 had issues with low down depending where, no matter where they were, so I think we're going to be fine.
Roger, we're going down to 10 feet now. The party piece of the buck. Ultimate Cold War survivability. I say ultimate Cold War survivability, it's ultimate modern survivability still.
I just saw the front of that passenger plane.
What? Very good, very clever.
Nimrods will be coming, I will say that.
Roger. Right, guys, so in we go. We're now 20 feet. That's as low as we're going to be getting, and you would not want to go any lower than that. Going to put her up to max speed. I hope it doesn't cause us problems. 30 miles. Here we go, boys. So we can pretty much fire from here, but the reason, as I said, I want our missiles to have max survivability. The missile is a massive missile, so it seeks like a AGM-65 from America, but it's many times bigger. It's designed to blow ships up and stuff, basically, so it's massive. Range 26 miles. Going to speed up and hope we don't crash into the sea. Anything could go wrong. Any number of things could go wrong at this point, guys. 20 miles. Get ready, or as Baby says, get yedi. 15. Get ready for the pop-up. Slowing the game down. That's it. Pause. Guys, we're going up to 300 feet. Turning our radars on, which is the Ferranti Blue Parrot surface radar. It's on now. Okay, warmed up. We're detecting targets. Slave the TV sensor of the Martels onto it. Get a TV lock. TV lock acquired. Double check the missile. Fire the missiles. 4 Martels out. Boys, out you go. Return to base. Max speed. Low as you dare. Here we go. 4 Martels, everything's worked. Type 42, when will they respond? They're engaging air track with 4.5 inches and they're getting their Sea Dart in a condition to fire. Where is the Sea Dart on this? There it is. And the Sea Dart is firing. Well, there's your first problem. This is why I wanted to go in, guys, because it's a damn fine missile and I'm worried. One hit, one missed, but there's so many of them because you've got twin arm launchers.
That was a 4.5 flat ground.
Oh, wow. Ah, shit. We're not going to make it, guys. We're not going to... Oh, we might. We might. Come on. Might be within arm in of the... No, we're not in arm in of Sea Dart, and it's getting more and more effective as we get closer, and it's missed. More Sea Darts. Come on, you mother... Ah. Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Gotcha. £1,000 warhead on your freaking face. Now, it's not going to sink a carrier, but you do that kind of damage, and it's almost certainly put it out of the war, which is all we care about. We don't want to sink it. We don't want to kill 2,000 people, but we do want to put it out of the war, and that's what we've just done, and that was amazing. Amazing. So I was in such a hurry there. I didn't really see what happened. I think one was taken out by a 4.5 incher, one was taken out by a Sea Dart, one was taken out by just weird gun, like 1940s gunfire from here. I don't think they're radar guided, just by luck basically. And one got through and hit it. Deck's on fire. Diesel accelerants burning. Out of action. Mission done, guys. That's not going to be endangering.
One good hit in the right place, it would sink.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess the same warships really, isn't it? But yeah, that's fair enough. But at that point, our guys, our victors, are going to get back in their daisy chains. They're going to get these... So much work has to be done to get these two guys back home. Get these guys back home, 20,000 feet. I mean, that could not have worked any better. Beautiful that this sim allows us to do stuff like this. And there's so much more stuff we can do around the world, bombing raids and stuff. This, interestingly, if this had been done, would it have been the world's longest range anti-shipping mission? I think so, question mark? And that I'm sure it would have broken numerous records if it happened. And it's lucky that it didn't happen. It's lucky that the winds were unfavourable and the carrier here had to return to base, and so we didn't have to do this mission. But if we had to do it, it looks like we probably could have done it with typical British determination, and it looks like it probably would have been possible. So great news, great simulation, guys. Anything from the boys here?
Can't wait for the next one.
Can't wait for the next one. Lovely. I hope you enjoyed that, viewers, and bye-bye.